this is Project Spark Alphabet and I'm Lady Lex UK, and today we're going to be looking at the letter B. And I've chosen for my brain tile, I've chosen the block tile, and for the prop I've chosen the Bombard cannon barrel. So let's start off with the brain tile, the block tile. Here is a standard third person adventurer. Here he is here. And as you can see, the top left hand corner, I've just modified his brain slightly to include a number as well as the health display. This makes it easier to show you what is happening every time you get attacked and how much damage is being inflicted. I've also included in him an action button, the right button I've chosen on my controller. So when I press that, he'll do this blocking move with his hands like that. He'll step backwards and do this blocking move. Okay, so there's a goblin over there. Now I've altered him slightly too. He now does 25 points of damage with every swing of his arm. So let's go over to him and see what that does then. So he'll attack us, and that's gone down to 75. So that's 25 points. 50, 25, one more attack and I'll be dead. Okay, so let's restart that. So let's try our blocking move and see what that does. So we'll move that over to our goblin. I'll do my blocking move. And 76, so that's 24 points of damage. So he's still inflicting damage and quite a lot of it. This blocking move is only giving me a difference of 1 point. So that I'm still going to die. Slightly slower, but die all the same. So here I have some shields. Let's try the shield. I'll pick up the first shield and try the blocking move. And that was 15 points of damage the goblin's doing this time. Now if I don't do the blocking move, if I just stand there with my shield, he did 25 points as normal. So I'll do my blocking again. 20 points, and I think one more hit, or maybe 2 more hits. So that was 15 points of damage, wasn't it? And my player is down. Okay, so these shields are working, but perhaps not as much as we would like. So let's test it one more time. And here is our third shield. It's a nice big shiny blue one. Okay, let's defend ourselves. Put the block on, and this time our goblin isn't causing us any damage at all. Now you will notice the phantom footsteps bug, which I thought was only for first person cameras, is also affected by this block tile. So there's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. It is a bug in Project Spark that is never going to be fixed. You just have to put up with it. So he's going to have all this padding and stamping of dust blown up every time he blocks, but hey, it's okay. It's not horrendous. Okay, let's see how this works then. So in my player brain, I've added just 2 lines to him. I've set a number variable called shield amount, and I've made it a 1. This is his default shield amount. So if he was trying to block without any shield in his hand, he's only going to block 1 point of damage. When you press your right bumper, you're going to block the reduction amount of your shield amount, which, as we know, the default is 1 unless you've picked up a shield. So let's have a look at the shields. When you pick up one of these shields, this is the standard brain, the equip me brain, and I've just added this one line. It says once my owner shield amount equals, and in this case it's 10. So every time any creature or character attacks you, this will reduce that attack by 10 points. That's what it does. This shield is worth 10 points of safety for you. And this one here, completely different, 100 points of safety. So as long as anything attacks you isn't attacking you with anything more than 100 points of damage in one go, you're pretty much totally protected with this shield. And you can have as many shields as you like with as many different numbers as you like, and they will all work depending on which one is equipped, because as you equip it, it's going to change that shield number in the player brain. And that is basically it, apart from the other modifier for block, which is the reduction ratio. Now, this is a percentage, and instead of setting it at 0 to 100, Team Dakota in their wisdom decided to set it as 0 to 1. So a 50% is not 50, a 50% is 0.5. So 0.5 for 50%, 0.6 is 60, 0.7 is 70, etc, etc. And this time it reduces the percentage of the attack. So if the attack is 20 and you do a reduction ratio of 0.5, that attack will only be 10. Now, for me, this makes no sense whatsoever, because either a shield protects you from 20 points or it protects you from 50 points. If it doesn't really protect you from a percentage of somebody's attack, that doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever you want to do, that's an option rather than an actual number, though I think I prefer the number option. And again, whoops, just copy that and put that in. There you go. That's all the code you need to create a block with its own shields, with its own number options for how much damage they will protect you against. And that's the block tile. I apologise for the phantom footsteps, but it's not why am I apologising for Team Dakota's mistake? I'm apologising I can't actually work out a way of stopping it from doing it. I can't. It's something we're going to have to put up with, unfortunately. Okay, so here is my prop. This is the Bombard cannon barrel, and it's a standard prop. It's not an assembly. It has its own brain, which is in here. It's 2 pages, but it's not very long. There we go. That's the first page. It's mostly special effects and noises. And then there's a one-liner on the second page, which is a cooldown timer between firing your cannonballs. So let's see what it does. So when you press B, it will fire. I'll put it at this angle, you can see it will fire a cannonball like that, and that will act as a projectile and will damage people as it goes. There we are. That's basically it. It has a little special effect of smoke coming out and sparks. There you go. So I've built my own one over here. I've made it into a more of a... Oh, let's get rid of this goblin. He's annoying. There we go. I've made it into more of a gun carriage. And let's see what happens now. This is what happens. It goes backwards and forwards as you fire it. It's a bit more animated. It has a slightly longer cooldown, and smoke comes out of it while you're waiting for it to cool down. And there you go. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. But I think that looks pretty cool. So let's have a look and see how that works. So I've attached 2 wheels to it. They're just attached. I think special. You could make a whole gun carriage if you like. With a base and all sorts of things, but I think it looks pretty effective with just 2 wheels and just attach them to those wood spokes on the side. I've also attached this smoke effect, and I've also power linked that smoke effect from the barrel to the special effects, so that it'll only turn on when the barrel is turned on. The barrel will only be turned on in code when we need it to. So let's have a look at its brain. So here's the power. It's powered off to start with. This is already in the brain, so it's team 1. So it will be attacked by any goblins that are in its vicinity. And we'll set a vector variable, and I've called this start, to the position of this this barrel, and you'll need that a bit later on. When you interact with it, we're going to set a boolean called fire cannon to be true. When fire cannon is true, for 0.25 seconds we're going to move the object backward, and then a countdown of 0.25 and then a duration of 0.25 again. We're going to move the object forward. So it's going to go backwards and forwards quite quickly. And then after it's done that, we're going to set the position back to its start position. Now, if you don't put this in, it has a tendency to move backwards every time you fire. So you'll find that it's travelling across the map, which is what you don't want. You want it to go backwards and forwards to exactly the same position. Let's just make sure that it does go back to where it was before. This is the code that's already in the brain. You just put this as a child line to your Boolean and say started to, so it will shoot the cannon. And then you'll put in a countdown timer, which is the whole time of the backwards and forwards. And then we'll go to the cooldown page, which is the next page of the brain. When the page is entered, the Boolean fire cannon equals false, so we've finished firing the cannon, and we'll power it on, which will turn on that smoke. I've changed the countdown to 3 seconds rather than 1.5, but you can change this to whatever you like, and it will play the smoke, and then we'll switch back to the page so that you can fire it again. And that's it. That's our Bombard cannon barrel, and I think that is a much better version than just that. I hope you can use that in your games. Well, thank you for watching, and as always, keep sparking.